A death in the middle of a police arrest has shaken Italy and reopened a painful national debate about trust, accountability, and the power of the state. The death of Ibrahim Fakir has become more than a single case. It has become a moment of anger, grief, and difficult questions about how policing is carried out and whether the systems designed to protect people are strong enough when those people come into contact with law enforcement. For his family, the debate is deeply personal. They are mourning a loved one while demanding answers about the final moments of his life, and why the encounter with police ended in tragedy. The case has sparked protests and renewed calls from campaigners for greater transparency and stronger accountability when people die during police operations. At the heart of the debate is a simple but powerful question: who watches those responsible for enforcing the law? Critics argue that Italy has struggled for years with concerns over police accountability, particularly in cases involving migrants and minority communities. They say the death in police custody damages public confidence and must be met with a transparent investigation that leaves no unanswered questions. Supporters of the police, however, say officers must be presumed innocent while investigations take place, and that judgments should only come after all the evidence is examined. The political debate is now widening. Under Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni's government, changes to policing laws and tougher measures against protesters have been criticised by opponents who fear they could weaken scrutiny of state power. The government rejects that criticism, saying police officers need protection to carry out their duties in increasingly difficult circumstances. But for many watching this case, the issue goes far beyond one government or one incident. It is about the relationship between people and those given the authority to protect them. The investigation into this death will now be closely watched, not only for answers it provides to his family, but for what it says about the future of police accountability in Italy. Because behind the headlines and political arguments is a human story, a family grieving, a community demanding answers, and a country asking whether justice applies equally to everyone.
The controversy surrounding Abderrahim Fakir's death comes amid a wider European conversation about policing, discrimination, and the use of state power. Human rights groups have repeatedly called for stronger independent oversight of law enforcement, arguing that public trust depends on transparency and accountability. In Italy, previous cases involving deaths during police encounters have left some communities feeling that justice moves too slowly or fails to provide clear answers. The investigation into Fakir's death will now become a crucial test of public confidence. Prosecutors are expected to examine evidence, including witness accounts and available video footage, as they try to establish exactly what happened during the arrest. Morocco has also called for a transparent investigation, adding an international dimension to a case that has already attracted significant attention. For many Italians, this is not only about one tragic event. It is about whether institutions can acknowledge mistakes, provide accountability when needed, and ensure that the rights of every person are protected. For Fakir's family, the outcome of the investigation will determine whether they receive the answers they have been seeking. For Italy, the case has become another chapter in a much larger debate over policing and trust between the state and the people it serves.
The investigation into his death will determine the facts, but the debate it has triggered is already reshaping Italy's conversation about policing and accountability. The challenge now is whether authorities can provide answers that restore public confidence and show that transparency applies to everyone. For a grieving family and a divided country, the search for justice has only just begun.